After my lifelong enemy lost his memory, he mistook me for the one that got away. I seized the moment and humiliated him. I made him carry my heels and call me master. He obeyed every order like a docile puppy. Later, I accidentally overheard him talking to someone. So what if my memory's back? Who the hell would dare let her find out? Just wait for death. Logan crashed his street racer and scrambled his brain. In the hospital, I lounged in a corner, cracking roasted pistachios while the drama unfolded. The sterling prince who'd once been untouchable and arrogant now lay on the bed looking lost. His eyes held a crystal-clear sort of stupid. The doctor held up 2 fingers and asked what the number was. He swore. "I've got amnesia, not brain damage." I pictured him slack-jawed and drooling and couldn't hold back a snort of laughter. The sound sliced through the heavy silence. Everyone swiveled toward me. I awkwardly picked at my nails. "Sorry my happiness hurt your ears." Only then did Logan spot me through the crowd. His dull irises sparked like lightning had struck. He went utterly still. "I remember you, Ava." "Me? Seriously, he hates me so much he'll drag me into his amnesia? We've been at war since we learned to walk." Childhood highlight reel. He tossed my toy doll. I smashed his truck. He yanked my braids. I pinched his arm. Once we grew up, the bickering only got louder. The room inhaled, bracing for a catfight. Victoria was too frantic to care. She sobbed and laughed at once. "Thank God you remember, Ava. You two were inseparable. Joined at the hip, no one could pry you apart." I blinked. Logan blinked. The doctor had said to reminisce, but nobody said fabricate. I opened my mouth to deny everything. Logan beat me to it. "Yeah, I remember." His lips curved, cheeks faintly flushed. Long fingers worried the blanket hem. "Could everyone leave? I need to talk to Ava alone." I smelled a trap, classic Sterling mischief. I waved both hands. "Actually, I'd rather." My protest drowned in Victoria's hopeful gaze. I surrendered. The second the door clicked shut, I smacked his forehead. "Logan, cut the act. You are not about to boss me around. Dream on." He flopped back, eyes pinned on me, voice vibrating with weird excitement. "Back then, did I like you? Like me? Have you lost your mind?" I almost screeched, arms crossing like body armor. His earlobes burned crimson. "They don't know, right? We kept it secret." Creeped out chills swept my skin. "Stop. Just gross." He had to be trolling. I wouldn't bite. He tilted his head, confused love shining in those flirtatious eyes. "Then why does my heart race the second I see you?" I snorted. "Because you hate my guts. Liar." Logan felt his sanity slipping. "Did I make you mad? I'll apologize. Punish me however you want." He looked pathetically pitiful, lashes wet, tears threatening. An apology? Everyone knew the sterling heir never said sorry. Yet he mistook my shock for consent and rushed on. "I messed up, baby. Forgive me." Holy crap, he was serious. I poked his forehead. "Your brain really is toast, huh?" He nodded like a scolded kid. "You're the only one I remember." My feelings twisted. Part of me wanted him miserable, part of me didn't. I sighed and decided to play nice. "Truth. We despise each other. There is 0 chance your dream girl is me." He cut me off. "No way. I'll behave, I swear. Don't leave me." Like an abandoned puppy, eyes down, trembling. Almost I caved. But the night before his crash, at a rooftop lounge, someone joked while I touched up my lipstick, "Logan, you and Ava grew up together. When are we getting wedding invites?" "Exactly. Just seal the deal." He swirled his mellow, voice icy. "She's not worthy." I heard every syllable. I slammed the door, stalked over, and slapped him. "Screw you, you're nothing special." Still furious, I grabbed his glass and dumped the wine over his head. Liquid dripped from his hair. He licked a drop from his lip and laughed. Feisty. I wished that puddle had been his blood. Next morning he sped against Chase, crashed, and bled for real. While surgeons fought to save him, I cried for 3 days, terrified my curse had worked. When he stabilized, I decided karma had simply done its job. To escape, I jumped on a last-minute flight to the Hamptons. Sunshine, sea breeze, me on a lounger sipping coconut water, perfection. Until Logan showed up. I yanked my hat lower, ostrich style. He perched on my chair, peeled the brim up, face storm dark. Why didn't you visit me? I fake slept. I'll come to you instead, he muttered, still faking sleep. A beach blanket suddenly cocooned me from shoulders to ankles. I snapped. What are you doing? He rubbed his nose, possessive growl in his throat. No other guy gets to look at you. That's when I remembered my bikini and its effect on his current mental state. No wonder his eyes kept flicking away, he looked completely unnatural. A wicked idea flared up in me. Logan had delivered himself to my door. It would be a waste not to play with him. I pushed myself upright. The blanket slipped from my shoulders, bearing everything worth seeing. I arched a brow deliberately. Like what you see? Yeah. He ground the word out, not even letting his gaze brush me. Then carry me back to the suite for a bath. I'm tired. I don't want to move. I lounged sideways, waiting for him to act. He only clenched his fists tighter, the veins on the back of his hands shouting for release, his insides wilder than the churning surf outside. I tilted my head, hooked an arm around his neck, and coaxed, carry me. The instant the words left my lips the world spun. Logan scooped me up, slung me over one shoulder, and strode toward the hotel. I was dizzy from the jostling. Logan. Chem, your belt's digging into my foot. He gave a muffled grunt. I'm not wearing a belt. About Logan. When we were kids I hated him, pure, uncomplicated hate. When we grew up I still hated him, but now it was because I could only look, not touch. A criminal waste of perfect packaging. He strutted in front of me all day long, and I couldn't lay a finger on him. Infuriating. But right now he was obedient. When he came out of the bathroom he'd pulled on just a tank top and a towel riding low on his hips, every carved muscle on display. Satisfied? He spread his hands and cocked a brow at me. My heart nearly leapt out of my chest. I looked away, flustered, and huddled in the sofa corner. I swallowed. Not bad, I lied. Damn it, he was doing it on purpose. He rubbed his hair dry in a few brisk strokes, then braced his hands on either side of me, pinning me to the couch. Cold droplets slid from the fringe over his forehead and landed on the outer corner of my eye. I shivered. You took a cold shower? A sudden worry knotted inside me. He'd just been discharged. He was ruining his body. He neither confirmed nor denied, voice rough. How else could I put the fire out? Then he exhaled a soft breath against my ear. I couldn't take it. Tremors raced over my skin. He seemed to enjoy it, chuckling low, so sensitive. Baby. Right when my thoughts were about to blur, it hit me. Wrong. How had he turned the tables and pinned me down? I was supposed to be on top. I shoved him away sharply. Wait. Step back. My emotions were spiking, and his expression turned languid, utterly tender. What's wrong, baby? I sat up straight and commanded, who said you could call me baby? From now on, call me master. Chem. Amusement colored his eyes. His voice sank, rich and magnetic. I repeated, yes. You're nothing but my little servant, zero dignity allowed. Logan smiled, wicked, the corners of his eyes pink. Into that, are you? What else? I crossed my arms, Avery, pride at full wattage. He pressed his lips together, shoulders shaking like he was holding in laughter. Speak. I was losing patience. Keep quiet and I'll punish you. He spread his hands in surrender. Then punish me, master. That lit my fuse. Who asks for punishment? I grabbed the silk tie he'd just taken off, looped it once around his neck, and ordered hands behind your back. On your knees. He hesitated half a second, brows knitting and smoothing, then obeyed, sinking down exactly as told. He looked utterly mortified, face averted, refusing to meet my eyes, perfect servant material. I tugged the tie forward. He lost balance and toppled toward me. To keep a safe distance, I slapped my palm against his chest. Wow, the feel was first-rate. All those pristine suits had hidden serious definition. I fought to keep my smile from splitting my face. I cleared my throat and tipped his chin with airy disrespect. I only like obedience. Got it? He nodded obediently. Got it. Then what will you do from now on? Make you happy. The moment he said it, he leaned in, pressing me into the sofa with no space left between us. I had on only a thin black slip. My toes traveled along his abs, nudged the towel at his waist, and kept sliding. The texture was nothing like I'd imagined, silky, almost creamy. I wondered which brand could fit this smoothly. Puzzled, I looked down. A shriek tore out of me. "Logan, why aren't you wearing pants?" He covered his ears and nuzzled my shoulder. "I am wearing something. Sure, if the last line of defense counts as pants." He tickled me. I pushed his head away, arched a seductive brow. "Want it?" He said nothing, only gazed down at me. The room was dim. Under the faint light I caught the moist red at the corners of his eyes. I brushed his cheek gently, then slapped him twice, hard. My stare was scornful, my voice a taunt. "Do you actually think you deserve it? Damn Logan." He really imagined a little amnesia would make me let him off the hook. Not a chance. That night the bathroom light flicked on again and again. Cold tap water slapped Logan's face at random. The next morning he had a cold. I didn't sleep much either. He kept sneaking off for cold showers and tossing on the sofa, wrecking my dreams. With Logan around, my Hamptons plans were completely ruined. Just then his family threw a party to chase away bad luck. Our families are old friends, so I had to tag along. The whole ride he clung to, obedient and docile. If I said east, he didn't dare west. His meekness gave me goosebumps. Since when had Logan ever been this tame? Amnesia really is a weird thing. It can flip a personality inside out. At the party, after brief small talk, Victoria dragged Logan off to greet relatives and a few of his old buddies. Most guests were family, an intimate dinner. I stayed relaxed, parked in a corner. "You're Ava." A bright female voice rang above me. I looked up, unfamiliar face, not a Sterling relative. I nodded. "And you are?" She didn't answer, only looked down her nose. "So you're the little slave Logan keeps mentioning." I'd always known Logan was no saint. Whenever anyone asked, he'd run his mouth. "Ava? Just a slave I can order around. I say jump, she asks how high. Look who's kneeling now." I was speechless, unable to stop myself from rolling my eyes. Before I could say anything, she blinked again, staking her claim, and stretched out her hand. "Hi, I'm Logan's girlfriend." I froze on the spot. My brain exploded like a firecracker. Suddenly, the doll-faced girl in front of me looked familiar. Her name was Chloe. The last time Logan played basketball, I'd shown up to cheer for the other team. She'd been there too, handing out water, towels, wiping sweat. She'd taken care of him like a devoted nurse. Logan had barely acknowledged her. When the game ended, he'd flopped down beside me, whistled like a jerk, and said, "So? Not bad, huh? Told you I'm the real deal." I'd been annoyed even then. Logan's fan club has always been huge. Girls throwing themselves at him? Countless. But he's never actually dated any of them. Love letters, boxes of chocolate, those stories I'd only heard about. He's always been careful not to let those girls appear in front of me. Chloe is the first. I never expected them to move this fast. For a moment I felt like some ghost dragged from a dank cellar, skin peeled off and left to roast in the sun. Everything Logan said and did to me just days ago now looked ridiculous in front of his real girlfriend. My smile felt like cracked glass. I wanted to speak, but my throat was corked. Nothing came out. In the end I squeezed out a strangled, "Sorry," an apology for my own shameless behavior. Then I scrambled to my feet, desperate to escape that suffocating scene. But the black lace-up heel on my right foot chose that instant to unravel. The loose strap landed squarely under Chloe's sole. She glanced down, poked out the tip of her tongue, pure mischief, and said, "I'm sorry, too." I had no fight left in me. My dress was too short for me to squat and fix the strap, and I could hardly walk off barefoot. Humiliating doesn't even cover it. While I hesitated, flustered, a cool touch brushed my ankle. It was Logan. He dropped to one knee, his knuckles pale as he clumsily tried to lace the black strap back around my heel. I watched his Adam's apple jerk, his fingers trembling. When he stood up, I finally saw how awful he looked. Sweat beading at his temples, jaw clenched. He hissed, "She says it and you just believe her? How dumb can you get?" I'd been looking for someone to yell at, and the chief culprit delivered himself. I snapped, "Excuse me, you've got amnesia, genius." Logan's whole frame jolted as if he'd touched a live wire. "You seriously don't trust me?" The usual banter died in my throat. For all our bickering, he's never actually lied to me. While we stood locked in stalemate, Chloe let out a soft sob. Logan, you really don't remember me? He stared at her like she was mold on expensive cheese. Who are you? Chloe's innocent almond eyes went wide, tears streaming. I'm your girlfriend. Says who? He raked his hair twice, hunting through the broken files in his mind. Finally he was sure, nothing. Chloe's mouth opened and closed like a fish on carpet, managing only a squeak of I. Logan cut her off. Whoever told you that, go find them. You're not welcome here. I gaped. Maybe he'd been so docile lately I'd forgotten what he's really like. Cross him and you're ash, agree and you're gold. Zero tolerance. The second the words landed, his buddies stepped in to smooth things over. One of them was Chase, Chloe's brother, the guy Logan had been racing the night he crashed. Word is that bet had something to do with Chloe. No wonder Logan drove like he wanted to tear the world open. Chase patted his sister's shoulder. Logan's sick, he's bound to be cranky. Once he recovers we'll sort it out. Translation: patients get allowances, so a real girlfriend should suck it up. Logan heard it too. Fury rolled off him as he yanked me against his chest. Nothing to sort. Your sister is not my type. Wasn't before the crash, isn't now. Someone hooted. Oh yeah? So what is Logan's type? He held me tighter, voice softening into something almost sincere. Other than Ava, who else is there? I couldn't wriggle free, my mind was mush. If she really was his girlfriend, then Chloe deserved sympathy. But this didn't feel like Logan. Then again, he'd lost his memory. He'd even made me his temporary master. At this point I'd overclocked my brain and the fan had broken. Help, somebody come deal with this disaster. The chaos finally ended when Chase dragged his sister away, claiming their cat had learned a backflip at home. The crowd dispersed. I hadn't slept the night before, and the drama had drained me dry. I crawled upstairs, collapsed in one of the guest suites, and crashed until late afternoon. When I woke, the sky outside was molten orange. I freshened up and headed for the evening banquet. The suite had a sitting room beyond the bedroom door. Just as I reached for the handle, I heard voices, Logan's among them. I froze. Logan, you got your memory back? Nope. The questioner snorted. Then how'd you know Chloe is Chase's sister? Silence slammed through the room. After a long pause, Logan cursed under his breath. Crap. Let it slip. He remembers. Since when? Oh no, does that mean last night I actually... Luckily, someone voiced my panic for me. So when did it come back? You could have told us, we'd thrown you a party. The second Chloe started lying. Another guy grumbled, she must be crazy in love, daring to spread dirty rumors like that. She even tried to start a smear campaign against Miss Sinclair, but Logan shut it down. Wait, smear campaign? How come I never heard? Or has Logan been sheltering me so completely that none of it reached my ears? His own words rang in my head, as long as I'm here, no one gets to mess with you. Someone else laughed. Only reason he hasn't nuked her is Chase. Logan's got 180 ways to handle it. Dude raced like death itself just so Chloe would apologize to Miss Sinclair. Hey, stop calling her Miss Sinclair, call her Mrs. Sterling. The room cracked up in bro-I giggles. I discovered guys can be bigger gossips than runway models. Logan finally spoke once the laughter died, voice low and dangerous. If any of you let her find out I remember, you're dead meat. I was hanging on every word, so absorbed that I never noticed my door easing open without a sound. A thin, ghost-like crack appeared. I yanked it shut again. The lock clicked sharp and clear. Crap, now I was really doomed. I sprinted 2 steps at a time and flopped onto the bed. I buried myself under the quilt, pretending nothing had happened. Moments later I heard the knob turn again, soft as a breath. Logan slipped in, saw me lying there asleep, and exhaled in relief. My bratty streak sparked, I had to mess with him. I rolled over with theatrical flair. Instantly he sucked in a hiss of air. I fluttered my eyelids like I was surfacing from a dream. He stood frozen, brows crushed into a straight, tense line. What are you doing here? I rasped in sleepy baby voice. His fists clenched, his heart pounded so loud I could almost hear it in the hush. After a brutal inner wrestle he asked, You didn't hear anything, did you? I tilted my head. Hear what? I just woke up. I'd heard every single syllable. At that, his shoulders loosened. Nothing, forget it, he said, flustered. Night pressed against the windows. The room was unlit. In the faint glow, his eyes looked like bottomless pools. If post-amnesia Logan was docile and clingy, it was only because I was the one memory he had left. But right now, I couldn't read him at all. Testing, I asked. The banquet's about to start, why aren't you helping Master bathe and change? Old Logan would have told me to go to hell. This one simply fetched my slippers, dropped to one knee, and slid them on. Then he scooped me up bridal style and carried me toward the bathroom. I had to admit, the guy was carved, one casual touch and my fingers met washboard abs. My throat went dry. He wasn't stopping. When I stood, he reached for my back zipper. Whether from nerves or cheap silk, it refused to budge. I brushed his hands away and, in 2 clean yanks, slid it to the base, bearing my back. Heat rolled off him in waves. During his amnesia I'd said no because the whole thing felt insane. Tonight was different. I pinned him against the vanity. You're mine to devour, got it? He nodded, dazed, and guided my hand to the top button of his shirt, just below his Adam's apple. I took the cue, popping each disc slowly, knuckles grazing the hard ridges of his chest. At the final button he snapped awake and clamped my wrist. A sliver of clarity cut through his fog. No, he said. Excuse me, I was literally right there. How dare he hit the brakes? He must be broken. Fury flared. I shoved him back. If you can't play, forget it. I threw my dress on at light speed and bolted. Behind me he fumbled with his shirt, cursing the tiny buttons, stranded in the bath alcove. Humiliation of the century. Facing a knockout like me, he'd said no. He obviously had issues, explains why he's been single forever. All looks, no follow-through. Mortified and livid, I tore back home. The Sinclair estate sits right next to the Sterlings. I skipped the banquet entirely. He bombarded my phone. I blocked and deleted him on every app: call, WhatsApp, Insta, Twitter. One-tap purge. You want war, Logan? Game on. I stared at the ceiling, tears slipping silently. Rat bastard. Yet I couldn't tell Maya, she'd roast me alive. Our feud with Logan was legendary pure hate, so I swallowed it alone. As if telepathic, Maya texted, 1-8 over, rooftop lounge? Normally I'd scoff, but I needed anesthesia for my pride. I fired back a thumbs up GIF. 20 minutes later her frosted pink Porsche growled outside. She took one look and winced. Makeup bags in back, want it? I shook my head robotically. Cute guys. Obvi. Trust your girl. Fine, her track record was Harvard level. If they weren't Logan hot I'd only feel worse. She clicked her tongue. Touch up, seriously. You'll scare prey. I glared. Can't you see I'm heartbroken? She bit back laughter. Brows, lipstick, 5 minutes, then you won't be. Mirror check, mascara everywhere, full crypt keeper. I wiped it off but couldn't muster a remake. I swiped on brows and red lipstick like a zombie. Done, and we arrived. Except it wasn't a bar. It was skyline, the glass-walled rooftop garden. Roses cascaded from the 2nd floor in a red waterfall. Twinkle lights stabbed my eyes. I whispered, someone getting hitched. Maya shook her head. Proposal. Before I could ask how she knew, a familiar silhouette emerged. Charcoal suit, knife-sharp cut, shoulders to end nations. Reality slapped me. I should have glued on falsies, baked, contoured. Why didn't I contour? Logan closed the distance, crimson bouquet in hand, each step stomping straight on my heartbeat. Maya ghosted to the background. He offered the roses. I accepted, cheeks already on fire. What I meant, he murmured, is will you? I blurted, I will. A soft laugh brushed my ear. I haven't asked anything. My face could roast marshmallows. Still, I huffed, whatever, my answer's yes. Problem? Grinning, he pulled me into the breeze. Then say it, he whispered. Will you be my lifelong master? Only then did I feel his palms, soaked with nerves. I buried my face against his chest, nodded fiercely. A few excited tears burst free. I wiped them all on his shirt. War, finally, legitimate. A wave of hoots rose behind us. Turned out half our contact list was in the room. Someone teased, Who says Logan can't perform? Dude's on fire. Remember how she kept insisting she was out of his league? Then, bam, got herself a sharp slap. Another hurried to clarify, don't slander Logan. Some jerk said if Miss Sinclair couldn't land him, Chloe would do, so Logan answered that she wasn't worthy. Right, I was there. I swear. So that was it. I'd missed a few lines. Clearly my eavesdropping needed work. Everyone exchanged knowing grins, no need to spell it out. I stroked his cheek, worried. Does it hurt? He shook his head, eyes soft. Felt amazing. Later I asked how he'd staged that spectacle in a few short hours. He sounded smug. What if I'd been planning it forever? Turns out, long ago, I was already the most special person in his world. Still, I couldn't resist a jab. The decor screams clueless straight guy, zero experience. War. Before I finished, he pressed my head down. Focus, baby. Family arranged matches are great, everything moves at light speed. The day after we became official, Logan's parents arrived with lawyers and a mountain of red folders and contracts. Victoria held my hand, beaming. She told my parents, I knew it, these two have been close since kindergarten. But your Ava's an angel, marrying our rascal can't shortchange her. Uncle Sterling showed sincerity too, pointing at the pile, company shares. Westside estate, Southside beachfront condo. All go to Ava. My parents were just as generous. Gift after gift flew back and forth until the lawyer's head spun. In no time the families had forged a tight, deep partnership, leaving Logan and me wide-eyed. He fought a grin. Guess we're getting hitched tomorrow. I lifted my chin. Chimph, no proposal yet. License first, proposal after, he declared, confidence maxed. You still doubt my game? Amham, I answered half-heartedly. Got it. Of course I lost. That very day Logan dragged me to City Hall for the marriage certificate. While I mixed and matched outfits for the honeymoon, he locked himself in meetings, handing off work. That's when Chloe found me. We met at a cafe. She came out crowing, still refusing to leave him. I sipped my Americano, bitter. But my life would be sweet from now on. I arched a brow. Leave who? She rolled her eyes. My boyfriend. Funny if he's yours. Who am I? I flashed the rock under her nose. Her pupils quaked. What is that? I blinked, playing dumb. Heh, you haven't heard. Nobody told you. Your boyfriend and I are married. She slammed the table, incredulous. 1 week. Who are you kidding? I shrugged. That's Logan's speed. Realizing how that sounded, I added, at marriage, at least, nothing else. Impossible, she wailed. My brother said you're sworn enemies, oil and water. Ever heard of love thy enemy? Sometimes the guy who hates you the most is the one who loves you hardest. Clearly her brothers never dated, pure straight male logic. She shook her head, burst into tears. Suddenly I remembered, rumor has it you've been spreading dirty rumors about me. The tears stopped instantly. Sorry. I binge fanfics, and when Logan joked you were his little slave I wrote some steamy fanfic, never meant to smear you. Actually, I understood too many melodramatic novels. It even gave her fantasy of posing as Logan's girlfriend a flimsy logic. After all, aren't villainesses supposed to be this unhinged? I grinned wickedly. Let me read it and I'll forgive you. Chloe's scenes were wild. That night I decided to act every single one out. 2 rounds in, I surrendered. Tomorrow, let's resume tomorrow. Logan, unsated, wiped steam from the mirror. Didn't you promise the full set? Look at yourself, baby. The bathroom floor was slick. I could barely stand. I played my last card, gasping. Have you got your memory back? He braked, body stiff, whispered at my ear. You knew all along. Then came an even fiercer onslaught. Thanks for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, please like and share with friends. We can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing tales. See you next episode.